left off at. Page 23. If I pinched them, their eyes, unlike the grazed glint of the baby doll's eyes, would fold in pain, and their cry would not be the sound of an icebox door, but a fascinating cry of pain. When I learned how to repulsive this disinterested violence was, that it was repulsive because it was disinterested. My shame floundered about for refuge. The best hiding place was love. Thus, the conversion from pristine sadism to fabricated hatred to fraudulent love. It was a small step to Shirley Temple. I learned much later to worship her, just as I learned to delight in cleanness, knowing, even as I learned, that the change was adjustment without improvement. 3 quarts of milk. That's what was in that icebox yesterday. 3 quarts. 3 whole quarts. Now they ain't none. Now a drop. I don't mind folks coming in and getting what they want. But 3 quarts of milk? What the devil does anybody need with 3 quarts of milk? The folks my mother was referring to was Pensacola. The three of us, Pensacola, Florida, or Pensacola, Friday night, listened to her downstairs in the kitchen fussing about the amount of milk Pensacola had drunk. We knew she was fond of the Shirley Temple cup and took every opportunity to drink milk out of it just to handle and see how sweet Shirley faced. My mother knew that Frida and I hated milk and assumed Pensacola drank it out of greediness. It was certainly not for us to dispute her. We didn't initiate talk with grown-ups. We answered their questions. Ashamed of the insults that were being heaped on our friend, we just sat there. I picked toe jam. Frida cleaned her fingernails with her teeth, and Pensacola finger traced some scars on her knee. Her head cocked to one side. My mother's fussing always irritated and depressed us. They were interminable, insulting, and although indirect. Mama never made and named anybody, just talked about folks and some people. Extremely painful in their thrusts, she would go on like that for hours, connecting one offense to another until all the things that chagrined her were spawled out. Then, having told everybody and something off, she would burst into song and sing the rest of the day. But it was such a long time before the singing part came. In the meantime, our stomachs jelloing and our necks burning. We listened, avoiding each other's eyes, and picked toe jam or whatever. I don't know what I'm supposed to be running here. A charity ward, I guess. Time for me to get out the giving line and get in the getting line. I guess I ain't supposed to have nothing. I'm supposed to end up in the poorhouse. Look like nothing I do is going to keep me out of there. Folks just spend all their time trying to figure out ways to send me to the poorhouse. I got about as much business with another mouth to feed as a cat has with side pockets, as if I don't have trouble enough trying to feed my own and keep out the poorhouse. Now I got something else here that's just going to drink me on in there. Well, no, she ain't. Not long as I got strength in my body and a tongue in my head, there's a limit to everything. I ain't got nothing to just throw away. Don't nobody need 3 quarts of milk. Henry Ford don't need 3 quarts of milk. That's just downright sinful. I'm willing to do what I can for folks. Can't nobody say I ain't. But this has got to stop. And I'm just the one to stop it. Bible say, watch as well as pray. Folks just dump their children off on you and go on about their business. Ain't nobody even peeped in here to see whatever that child has a loaf of bread. Look like they would just peep in to see whether I had a loaf of bread to give her. But no, that thought don't cross their mind. That old trifling trolley been out of jail 2 whole days and ain't been here yet to see if his own child was alive or dead. She could be dead for all he know. And that mama neither. What kind of something is that? When mama got around to Henry Ford and all those people who didn't care whether she had a loaf of bread, it was time to go. We wanted to miss the part about Roosevelt and the CCC camps. Friday got up and started down the stairs. Picola and I followed, making a wide arc to avoid the kitchen doorway. We sat on the steps of the porch where my mother's words could teach us only in spurts. It was a lonesome Saturday. The house smelled of Phil's naphtha and the sharp odor of mustard greens cooking. Saturdays were lonesome, fussy, soapy days. Second in misery only to those tight, starchy, cough drop Sundays, so full of don'ts and set self downs. If my mother was in a singing mood, it wasn't so bad. She would sing about hard times, bad times, and somebody done gone and left me times. But her voice was so sweet and her singing eyes so multi, I found myself longing for those hard times, yearning to be ground without a thing to my name. I look forward for it. So, this was The Bluest Eye, y'all, by Toni Morrison. If y'all haven't read this book, y'all gotta tap in. And I'm gonna stop at page 26, so later or tomorrow, that's where I'll be starting at. Everybody keep thriving. Keep your head up, stay motivated. The best is yet to come. We're global. Make sure y'all like, follow, subscribe, all that. Share. Appreciate it.